Alright, so this is part 2 of the Inventor tutorial series, and let me just, oh, the lights, woo, this one's best, let's take that one. This is part 2 of the Inventor tutorial series, and in the last video we went briefly over this assembly drawing right here, and then we went into making this part right here. And in this video we will go into this clamp base support right here, and the structure of this is relatively simple. It's just a cylinder with two smaller diameter ends, and then it has a thread all the way through it. So let's start by opening up Inventor and then making a new part. And we want a standard millimeter.ipt part. Create. And then we want to start by making a sketch. And there are several different ways that we can make this actually. We could make a circle and then draw that out and make one end and mirror that over. But I'm going to show you a different way in this video. The first thing we want to look at is actually this right here. It has a diameter of 8 millimeters and a length of 24. So let's go in here and take this XY plane. And the first thing we're going to do is just take a line and go 24 millimeters up, because that's the entire length of this cylinder. Then we'll look at the drawing again. Each of these ends is 2 millimeters and they are a diameter of 6 millimeters. So let's go up here, line, and we only want to make half of this, and I'll show you why in a second. And half of a diameter of 6 is 3 millimeters, and then go 2 millimeters down. And then the entire diameter of this was 8 millimeters. And we only want half of that as well. So we're going to move over 1 millimeter since we already have 3 of them. 1 millimeter. And let's do the same thing on the bottom. So 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters up, 1 millimeter over. And then let's connect those two. Now we have this shape right here. And what we want to do with this is finish sketch. And then we'll use this revolve tool. Either click up here or press R on the keyboard. And then we want to click on this center line right here. And we want to make sure it revolves 360 degrees. And click OK. And there we have the basic shape already. All we need now is just to drill this hole in the middle and pick a material. And actually, you know what? It's countersunk. So instead of making it with a circle, we're actually going to make it with a point and then drill it out with the hole function. There we go. And then hole. And since it's the only point that's there that this function can select, it'll automatically pick this one. And we want it to be an isometric profile, of course. Size is 4 millimeters. And it's an M4 by 0.7. And up here we can actually choose a countersunk hole from the very get-go. So let's do that. And this just means that it's a tapered hole, so it has the thread already. And here we can see the diameter of the outside is 4 millimeters. And that's actually what this thing says right here as well. This is a countersunk symbol, so it just means that this hole is countersunk. And the diameter is 4 millimeters. So let's go back in here. And we want this thread to be all the way through, because that's what the drawing says it is. You can see this line right here and right here. That shows that this thread goes all the way through this model. Back in here. want the thread to be 24 millimeters because that's the entire length of the model. And then just press OK. Now we have the thread all the way through. Now we can see the countersunk is only in the one end of it, and we want it in both ends. That's what the drawing says. So a quick way to do this would be to use the chamfer tool, but then we'd have to measure this out and figure out how much of the countersunk it is. So we can just take this whole function again, click on the surface, and then click on this circle right here. It'll automatically move into that position, and then just click OK. Now we have the countersunk in both ends. And then we want to pick the material, and we can see on the drawing that it is a steel mild type again. So back in Inventor, up here next to generic is this little circle called material. Click on that, and then we're going to find steel mild there, and then just click on this arrow on the outside of it to make sure that the model downloads this material type. And let's just have a quick look at this drawing. These break sharp edges. It means that all the edges that could be sharp when this is produced needs to be chamfered by 0.1 millimeter. And we do that by taking this chamfer up here and clicking on each of these edges that could possibly be sharp. The standard distance is 2 millimeters, and we want to change that to 0.1. And then click OK. Then go back into this drawing. Now we have a diameter of 8 millimeters and a diameter of 6 millimeters on both ends. This goes down 2 millimeters on each end, and the entire length of this is 24 millimeters. We have a thread that's an M4 by 0.7 with a countersunk in each end of 4 millimeters by 90 degrees. The material type is steel mild, and all the sharp edges has been broken by 0.1 millimeter. The name of this is clamp base support, so all that's left to do is actually just to save this. So go to File, Save As, and then save this as clamp base support. Clamp base support. Save. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.